So this one time in 7th grade, I heard these teachers having a conversation. Now, it was one of those teachers that when they're together, like, you always think it's suspicious, you know? We'll call them Mr. Harry and Mrs. Brown. So they were whispering to them about something, and I thought maybe they were talking about grades or something. So I didn't think much about it. Just walked into class and I sat down. So then after that, while I was in class, I noticed that they were like really touchy. And I also noticed the entire class time they were whispering stuff into each other's ears. Fast forward a bit and the day is finally over and I ended up following Mrs. Brown to her car. I stood far enough to where I could see her, but she couldn't see me. But then I noticed that instead of her driving off, she was just sitting at her car, which meant that she was waiting for someone. And I was right, because 2 minutes later, Mr. Harry comes walking out and he steps in the back seat of Mrs. Brown's car. I also noticed that he looked around to see if anybody was watching them. Now, at this time, it was 6 p.m., so everybody was gone. I walk a little closer to the car and I see that they were kissing, so I picked up my phone and I started recording them. After that, I seen the car moving and that's when I knew what was happening. And I, of course, didn't want to see any of that, so I ended up running home and I told my mom everything. And, of course, I showed her the video that I took of them. So then the next day, my mom ended up confronting both of them. And, of course, the word got out to their families. So now both of my teachers are divorced.
Girl, let me tell y'all about how I got robbed when working at Taco Bell. So you know, I woke up in the morning, put my makeup on so I could look cute. Then I got dressed and went to work for my morning and afternoon shift. So I'm at Taco Bell working as a cashier, taking people's orders and all that good stuff. And you know, it was just a normal day and stuff until this suspicious looking guy walks through the door with his face all covered. Girl, when I tell y'all how weird this man looked, y'all, this man was literally wearing all black and he had a mask on and he had some pitch black sunglasses. Girl, I already knew what was about to go down. I just had this gut feeling in my guts and I just knew what was about to happen. So this man literally pulls up to the counter. He is literally faced right in front of me. And y'all, he pulls out a gun and pointed it right at me. When I tell y'all I started panicking, y'all, I was froze. And y'all know how it be like a little seating area that be right by the counter. It was people sitting there and everybody, and I mean everybody, started gasping. So this man tells me to empty the cash register or he was gonna shoot. So y'all know what I did? I gave him the money, y'all. Cause y'all know well that I ain't finna get shot working at Taco Bell. Girl, do you know how embarrassing that would have been for me? Imagine being at my funeral and somebody asks, how did she die? And then y'all got an answer saying, she died working at Taco Bell. Nope, that was not finna be me. So y'all, anyway, I gave him the money, then he ran out and left. So I told my manager what happened and we called the cops. And y'all, the cops ain't do nothing. Unfortunately, they did not find the guy. Y'all, I'm so sad. They can't even do their job right. So, you know, I stopped working at Taco Bell for various reasons. If y'all want to hear other crazy stories of me working at Taco Bell, then go ahead and like this video and follow me.
Once upon a time in college, I went to go get a corn dog from the freezer, and when I was about to open the freezer, I heard a very loud moan, and I turned around, and my roommate was on the couch with her boyfriend doing stuff, and I went, ah! And then I ran out of the room. That was it. I didn't think we'd ever talk about it again. But a few minutes later, I heard a knock on my door, and I was like, oh, she's coming to apologize. And she walked through my door, and she was like, your behavior out there shamed me for my sexuality. I'm closing the curtains on these because y'all are nasty. You shamed me for my sexuality out there, and that was not okay. Which, to be clear, all I did was walk into the room, yell because I was surprised, and also as a joke, and then I left again. What did she want me to do? It could have been worse. I could have stayed and made my corn dog. Did she want me to stay and cheer them on? Did she need a fluffer? I was like, how am I in trouble right now?
I'm going to divorce my husband of 10 years. My husband and I met when I was 18. It had always been just me and my best friend, but when my husband came along, we became an inseparable trio. For me, it was love at first sight. I had the biggest crush on him, but didn't want to ruin the friendship thing we had, so I kept it to myself until he confessed to me when we were 20. Things went fast and we got married when we were 22. My best friend got married too, and we have all remained close. We had invited my best friend and her husband around for dinner, and we were joking about things when my husband brought up how he had always had a crush on my best friend, but then she got a boyfriend, so he settled for me instead. When I tell you, my whole world just came crashing down. I realized my marriage of 10 years was him settling for second best, that I was never his first option. After that, everything he did just started to annoy me, and he just stopped being attractive to me anymore. We haven't slept together in 6 months because I feel so disgusted. I just want out. I feel like I've wasted my life. I'm disappointed in him and myself for believing I was the one he liked. So the funny thing about this is that this post somehow got back to the husband, so he made a reply post and he says, I destroyed my marriage with a stupid comment and a one-night stand. So I found my wife's post. I'm going to divorce my husband of 10 years. Someone made a video about it and that video got back to me. I would like to tell my side. When I met my wife, I didn't really think much of her. She was funny, kind, and a good friend, but I had no interest in her. Her friend Sarah was gorgeous. She had long red hair and these soft freckles and long lashes. She was my dream girl, but she was not interested in me. I noticed my wife, Amber, was hanging out with me more, laughing at my jokes, listening to me, and it made me consider having more of a relationship with her. Sarah got a boyfriend about a year into us being friends, and her interest in our friendship got dwindled. She hung out with us less and spent more time with her boyfriend, which left me and Amber alone a lot. I ended up giving up on Sarah and focusing on Amber, and we started dating and got married. We kept our friendship with Sarah, but we focused on each other. In the back of my mind though, it's always felt like I had missed out on something. My marriage was boring. Amber and I were basically friends, and I was working hard to save for a house, and she was working hard to save for future kids, so we were existing alongside each other, not actually together. So one day when we were at dinner, I got jealous of Sarah and her husband, who seemed happy, and made a comment about settling for Amber. Amber shut down after that. She kept repeating the same questions over and over, and it would make me so angry that I didn't want to answer, so I didn't. I guess that was my first bad move. Sarah messaged me after dinner to check if I was okay, and we kept messaging. She was just reassuring me that I did nothing wrong and it would work out. Then I got a text saying Amber was planning to divorce me. So Sarah came over and we tried to stop her from leaving me, but it seemed to only make things worse. Sarah saw how distraught I was and stayed to comfort me, and we drank, and in one stupid drunk mistake, we ended up sleeping together. Sarah confessed to her husband that we slept together, and her husband told Amber. Now both of our marriages are ruined. I regret it so much, and I just wish I could take it all back.
Am I the bad apple for not allowing my sister to grieve? I, 22-year-old female, recently got married to the love of my life. My sister was gonna be my maid of honor. However, in late June 2022, her oldest daughter passed away in a car accident. The whole family was in absolute shreds, grieving and comforting my sister and her family. My fiance and I were scheduled to get married in early June, but we decided to push back the wedding till late August so we can give the family time to grieve. It cost us a lot of money to push it back even that month, but given the circumstances, my fiance and I were happy to do it. 2 days before the wedding, my sister called me. She asked me to cancel the whole wedding. I was really surprised and asked, why do you want me to do this? She said she needed the rest of the year to just be about her and her grief. I calmly but firmly told her that I'm not going to be canceling my wedding.